Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is Case Study QB, and we are the Political Junkies back at it again. You know, we got a few of us here than usual, so we wanted to do a little something special this week. We're going to have audience members jump in. You know, we're going to bring them on for a topic or two, and they're just going to talk for a couple minutes on it. And then as we get more people, we'll bring people in and out of the show. So without further ado, before we get to that part of the show, let me go around the horns and say what's up to my peoples. Carlito, how you doing, my man?
Man, just enjoying this NBA Finals, man. Very competitive.
Yeah.
Liking it.
Yeah.
I just wish my team was in it.
I know, but at least it's very entertaining, so I agree with you there. We'll see what happens tonight, right? After the show. Bendone, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, thriving.
Bendone, all right. Thriving. So let's get to this first. I'm going to share my screen and let's see what's going on here. You know what? I don't even need to share the sound just yet. So I want you guys to comment on it. But this is for those who might be international watching this clip. This is how our TSA, I don't know how you guys do it, but this is our TSA. This poor little boy, I don't even know how old he must be. He might be 13, 14. And this is how we go through. So, Carlito, when last you guys went to the airport? Carlito or Bendone?
Before pandemic. I didn't travel.
Like 2-3 years ago.
You guys have to go through this?
Nah, I usually go through the machine and do this.
Yeah, I had to do it because I was beeping or something. Okay. So they had to give me the extra special,
And by the way, I see PJ Holly in the chat. Much love to you. We're gonna come to you. Stay right there. We're gonna come to you later on in the show. Good to see you. But yeah, this is what we gotta deal with over here in our country. So I'm not gonna play it too long. Let's get going to the next thing. So here's the a U-Haul with mass neo-Nazis and white supremacists. A whole bunch of cops came and found them. My thing about this situation is look at them wearing the modern day KKK cloaks on their head. And I think it adds to the dramatics, but I wish they would show their face. Paulito, you said you found a place that was showing their face?
Yeah, it was a Twitter thread. They were showing their faces when they were getting put into the cars or whatever. Yeah. But I see a comment from a man, John, said he's in Panama. A lady did that to him. And it was crazy, but he felt violated. I thought he paid for that, though.
Oh, man, nah, it's not fun. It's definitely not fun at all. All right, so here is a clip of today. They had the Bernie Sanders debate with Lindsey Graham from Fox Nation. And I'm just going to show a quick clip from this.
200 million Americans put us all under the government umbrella. It's going to cost about $40 trillion.
We started over.
I'd like to lower healthcare costs, but I'm not going to take away your private coverage. Senator Sanders has a bill called Medicare for All. Bring it to the floor for a vote. I'm begging you to take Medicare for All and bring it to the floor of the Senate, which looks just like this, and let's vote. The reason it won't pass is because you're going to take private health care away from 200 million Americans, put us all under the government umbrella. It's going to cost about $40 trillion. In 2034, we'll be spending as much to maintain Medicare for All as we do for the entire federal government today. And people will have less. You get what the government gives you when they're ready to give it to you. So this idea of Medicare for All destroys private sector health care, and that is not the answer.
Wow, so just the typical Republican talking points right there. So we got a couple people in the chat, and I'm excited to get to them. So the first person I'm going to go to, and Day, I see you, my man, in the chat. So much love. We're going to come to you soon. But let's go down. So
it's not even talking points. They're just straight up lies.
Straight up lies. So Holly, I'm gonna bring you in on this one.
Holly. Hi there. Well. Yeah, it is. It's just like he's just giving the talking points. Every one of those points that he was talking couldn't be debunked.
Let me bring you over to the main point.
Money.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great to see you after all this time. PJ Holly's always been in the chat. It is good, so good to see you. Yeah, we got the typical talking points. Did you get a chance to see the debate, PJ Holly?
No, I didn't.
Okay, no worries. If you want to see it, I have the full debate. I posted it to Odyssey, but in my thread, there's a link. So are you going to be with us for the whole show? Because I want to go on, but I'll bring you back on periodically.
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna jump out, and then we're gonna go into something else, and then I'm gonna go to I wonder if Fluffy in the chat, Fluffy, let me know if there's anything particular that you want to chat about. But much love to you as well, Fluffy. Thank you for joining. All right, so let me see. Oh, here we go. I got a clip that might make a couple people mad right here, and then we're gonna go to Dave with this clip. Yeah.
You know, Steve, you and I just have to say in passing, you and I have spent our adult lives warning about rising deficits, rising debt. There have been many progressive economists saying that we were chicken littles, saying the sky is falling, the sky is falling. This is what we've been warning of. This is what happens. I was wondering why it was taking so long, but you flood the economy with too much money, with too much government debt, with too many, too many government programs, too much deficit spending. This is exactly what happens. And my God, I just wonder what would have happened if progressives had gotten their $6 trillion wish earlier this year.
Yeah, and in an ironic way, you almost have to thank Joe Manchin for blocking that, because $6.5 trillion of spending in this economy would make these numbers look small. Yeah, look, we had a huge budget deficit. We had an unbelievably aggressive reaction by the Fed to the pandemic. You can kind of understand why they were trying, but they just tried too hard. And now we're all going to pay the consequences in a very, very tough environment over the next year or two while this gets sorted out.
By the way, I wouldn't even say ironically thank Joe Manchin. You can just thank Joe Manchin if you're glad that interest rates aren't even higher.
So let me bring on Day to the and this is my buddy who I do a show. Oh, go ahead, but no, sorry, you switching.
I was just saying hi.
All right, go ahead, Day. What you think about that clip?
It always baffles my mind that people get paid so much to do so little thinking. Like, I couldn't imagine showing up to like a college discussion, never having read the textbook, not having any concept or understanding of the subject matter, but then walking in as if I have a PhD. And it blows my mind that like nothing. First of all, if you want to critique a progressive economic agenda, why not have someone who actually believes in it on there so you can actually debate and go back and forth? It's because you don't have any strong talking points. Exactly. But what really gets me is that people will be so blinded by their ideology that they refuse to do the investigative work to actually see. It's like one onion skin says, oh, this is something that goes with my ideology, so discard the rest of everything else. And it's like infuriating, because unfortunately millions of people watch this garbage and think this is the intelligent decision. I'm like, so magically you guys just don't get any of the information about price gouging. You guys just magically don't understand how certain industries are bottlenecked. Magically you guys don't understand that we deficit spend already. It's something that we do. You magically don't understand that federal spending is not like state or local spending, where you don't actually, literally when we're taxing people, it's accounting measures. Destroy the money that we're doing, and then we can print the money for things that we need. It's all about, do you have the material resources to actually source said things you want to fund? But no, that's never the conversation. And I'm like, when I see things, I think my interest has always been media and communication. So I'm sorry for this rant. Like, that actually really pissed me off. I was not expecting that. Like, I'm always curious, like, without abolishing the entire thing as is, what is the answer? Because I'm like, as long as you have a profit incentive, stuff like this is going to happen. Yes, you have one-offs like, Breaking Points and different people who have an ecosystem, that's great. I think it's wonderful. And I'm like, CNN and MSNBC, you have the resources to actually go further than a lot of these people do in terms of your investigative work and your journalism. You just don't have the appetite or the interest. It's not something you want to do. So at this point, I'm like, abolish cable news, like abolish for-profit news. I just feel like they'll probably clip this. What if I ever run for something? But like at this point in my life, it's just like abolish all of it because it's garbage. And I'm just like genuinely baffled that these people are considered like serious people.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that when I watched the Bernie, did you hear about the Bernie Sanders Lindsey Graham debate day?
So I didn't know about that. So I just saw the clip right before. So I was like, I have to watch that. That pissed me off too. So I was actually I was ready for that one. And I was like,
you can find it on my Odyssey page because I had to pay Fox Nation just for 1 month. It was $1. I know. I'm going to cancel immediately. And it was actually a good hour debate. It's definitely a clinic on the Lindsey Graham side on how to, dodge questions and how to just try to keep going back to your points, talking points. But Bernie Sanders, he had the usual talking points as well. He definitely called out Lindsey Graham. That was one of my clips that's on the channel where he called him establishment. And I liked how he went straight to him. I wish he would did that with Biden actually and just called him straight establishment. He might have been president at this point.
But, that's my question, because he's good at it when it's not somebody he's affable to. Yeah. He tends to be able to go for the jugular. Because I'm like, to be honest, everything that Lindsey Graham said is completely dismantleable. Like you can just go through the list and call all that out. So I hope he did that.
Bendo, you had something to say?
Actually, what was the debate for? Like,
No, it was just a debate. It was just a Lindsey Graham. It's something that I wish would happen more, but on in public. Like,
but for fun?
It was kind of like I think it was to promote. I mean, Bernie wasn't there to promote Fox Nation, but I'm sure they took advantage of that part of it. But they should have this on like a Channel 5, Channel 11 public.
Bernie's good. Bernie's good at reaching out.
Yeah,
it makes sense. But I wanted to point out John's comment. It said in 2008 it was okay because we bail out Wall Street. But this time around, it's bad because it went directly to people. So that's one of the things. Another thing I wanted to point out, they were saying about, it's really that they don't know. There's two things. One is that they know, but, it's convenient to lie. They want to push the agenda to keep the status quo going and blame it on helping people and just say, tax us. But the other thing is, I was trying to look it up because you heard of Imposter Syndrome, but there's the other one called Dunning-Kruger effect. So it's like these people that are the dumbest, they're the most confident about their wrong takes. It's like when you're wrong and strong, that's this people. So they just stupid, don't know better, but they're just so confident about it. Meanwhile, the people that know better, they always want to, they don't want to exaggerate. They want to make sure, they got those ducks in a row. And that's why sometimes, the progressives, we don't come out as forceful. We don't, the people don't, we're not, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but not spicy enough. You know what I mean? But these people are spicy. They just blame it on everything. They use strong, wrong and strong.
Yeah. So before I let Dave go, thank you so much for jumping in here. No, I know you got to do your homework and watch the debrief at 8:30 for the next show. But I want to just remind people what was in the Build Back Better that Joe Scarborough and this other guy was complaining about. They had 4 weeks of paid family medical leave. They had extended Affordable Care Act subsidies, among with a whole bunch. I remember they had the child care, daycare for the children. They had a whole bunch of great things that extended tax credits that we really needed. And they said they would cause inflation while they're not going after, Bernie talked about it in his debate, how the gas companies are getting they're due for record profits next quarter because they've been price gouging us. That's the real reason. So thanks Dave for coming on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Y'all be blessed.
All right.
I saw a stupid take from Elon Musk and a bunch of other people talking about, we need to expand the gas production and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, this gas company, they're sitting on leases of land that they're not getting they're not mining. So it's there. They could do it if they want to. And when they were asked, in Congress, I think it was Katie Porter, they were like, we got no plans. We're just going to keep, we're going to do it. What we're doing. This is about shareholder value and they get more money this way. So that's what we're going to keep on doing.
PJ Holly, if you want to say something, just put your hand up and I'll see you and I'll bring you in just in case if you want to say something. Go ahead, Bendo. You want to say something?
I'll say Katie Porter has become a very, very one of my favorite senators out there, especially when she started throwing up all the little.
Not senator, she's in the House, but go ahead.
In the House,
Yeah.
take the title to me. But like the way that she has all the evidence is just, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I know Lawrence O'Donnell loves her too. He always has her on the show.
She needs to replace Feinstein out there.
Well, we'll see if she's actually going to win because they redraw her district, and she always was in a it was not a dark blue district. It was kind of I think it was more tilted towards the red actually.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully she wins again and gets back in there. We got one more clip, and then we're going to go to Carlito's rundown.
And the thing I fear most is if he doesn't run, there's going to be a bloodbath of the Democratic Party. We don't need that right now. The far right is in the ascendancy. Authoritarianism is right around the corner, and there are many people who are practicing it in Congress. The place is full of election deniers. We need to continue what we're doing, and we're doing the right thing. And I think Biden's done very well on a lot of really difficult issues, particularly Ukraine and the handling of the virus.
So I brought this clip up. Basically because here's Howard Dean, who is not calling for Biden to be challenged or to be primaried because he's afraid of the bloodbath. When we know from the Republicans, when Trump first ran, they had like 20 people on stage. And they all had, it was the super bloodbath. We had Trump was calling people out. He called, what's his name? Ted Cruz, his father killed JFK, and all sorts of craziness was going on. And guess who won? The Republicans won. What you think of this strategy, Carlito?
Man, it's just dumb. It's just dumb because the thing is, Republicans, they just go all out in the primary. May the best man win or worst person, whatever. But then when it comes to the general election, they'll coalesce around, same message, The Democrats, they're not quite that way, especially if it's a progressive, and not presidential race. We haven't had progressive win a presidential race, but in the smaller races, if it's a progressive winning the primary, they do not back them the same way if it was a conservative Democrat.
Yeah. So it's sad that I think we need a healthy debate and we need a healthy primary. Matter of fact, you know what? I lied, so I want to bring up one more clip because this is kind of relevant to the topic. So,
He said the quiet thing out loud, which is that, look, Joe Biden hasn't even announced that he's going to. I mean, he does say so, but what we all and what many senior Democrats really think about behind closed doors when they're not on camera with you, Jim, is he going to run? They don't think so, or who would be good instead? And that's the conversation Democrats are actually having. So how can AOC, what the leader of the progressive left, along with Bernie Sanders and others, say they're going to endorse Joe Biden when truly we don't know if there's going to be an open seat for the Democratic nomination?
And I'll just say, there's the question of who would perform better than Biden against Trump. That's a very much open question, especially when you have the power of the incumbent president.
AOC said the quiet thing out loud.
All right. So yeah, Antonio Ghetto, what's up? Much love to you. Let me give a quick shout out to the chat. PJ Chris is in the building. PJ John, much love to you, my brother. Who else is in here? All right, Dave was here earlier. Much love to everybody. Yeah, it is true that you usually don't challenge the incumbent, person who's already in office, and they say it's because they get weakened. It goes back to Jimmy Carter versus Ted Cruz, where they said that Ted Cruz challenge to Jimmy Carter caused him not to win that second term. I would argue for other reasons he didn't win. But I personally think is a healthy thing, and we need him to get challenged. And by the way, I brought up this video because it seems like there's a lot of senior Democrats who think he needs to not run anyway. So progressives need to prepare for him hopefully not being there so that we're ready when he drops out or whatever it is. What you think, Ali? Oh, go ahead, Beno.
I was gonna say we could only hope that November comes around. We have some student loan forgiveness, some extra stuff, because it's going to be hard for people to sort of say, okay, I'm going to revote for Biden. The person that's come up recent is Beto, in my head.
Beto? You think Beto's going to run for
In my
president?
head, I was like, yo, why not him? Why not have Henry go again after the whole thing in Texas?
So wait, this is a different question. Do you want him to run? Like, would you vote for him? Are you advocating for Beto?
I would vote for him.
Over Biden?
No.
I'll
Yeah.
go for him over Biden, though. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to get worse than Biden.
Well,
say, yeah.
I don't think he's not my type of Democrat. I don't know
Why?
if he believes. If you saw how he ran in every single, he only won the House. He was a House in the congressional for I don't know how many terms, but that's the only race he ran for Senate. Then he ran for president. Now he's running for governor, and then he's going to run for president. I don't think he's going to win. You guys think he's going to win the governorship? By any chance?
I doubt it.
Doubt it.
Yeah.
So now he's going to run for president? Like, no.
Nah, I'm not saying he's gonna. But if he did versus Biden, I'll vote for him over Biden.
I don't know if I would even vote for him over Biden because I don't believe him. There's nothing that I believe him on what he says. He's a typical politician.
I believe him on gun control more than Biden.
But even that, hasn't he like waffled, gone flip flop back and forth on that?
I don't know. Has he?
Control?
He's not talking about banning. He's talking about background checks and stuff like that.
All right. What Antonio said, the question is not who's the right person for the Democratic Party. The question is who's the person that can beat.
I mean, it's not even. But right now, even Biden's looking sus to beat Trump.
Yeah.
Like
People say he's too old. There was an article about a Democratic consultant or whatever came out and wrote an article saying that he's just straight up too old. Like he's going to be close to 90 by the end of his second term. No, there's never been a president that.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is if not Biden, there's nobody that's out there that's putting their name out, growing their name and their brand to run. So it has to be Bernie.
So let's go through some possibilities to run in the Democratic Party, right? So we got Bernie, who said he could run possibly if Biden doesn't run. Then we have Nina Turner, who hinted at, hey, big things could happen in 2024. I don't know. You got Marianne Williamson, who also is floating out there that she could run. Then recently, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but not to run in the Democratic Party, but Jesse Ventura said, he said, I'm too old to get myself on the ballot in all 50 states, but if somebody does put me on the ballot, then I'll run. So basically he's saying to the audience, hey, you guys do all the work, and then I'll come in and run.
Yeah, the thing is, the first step is Biden saying he's not running. If Biden says he's going to run again,
the floodgates are going to open up.
Yeah.
You think that?
No, I mean, if Biden said he's not running, then there's going to be a lot more people throwing their hat in there.
Oh,
if
yeah.
Biden says he is running again, almost nobody. It's going to be like, maybe some progressives that have tiny chance or no chance. That's about it.
So if I was the establishment and I'm doing strategy, I would say, okay, Biden, say you're going to run all the way to the very last minute. And then as soon as is a day before anybody else could write their name in, say you're dropping out and then let whoever they want, like Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
I forgot about Pete.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's going to be. If Biden says he's not going to run, that means they already told Pete to get ready. So if you see Pete being out there more, getting more assignments,
that's a good
point. Put into the press more, even more, cameras. It's not even out there like that.
He's already in a good position, by the way, as the transportation secretary, where he's giving out money directly to the states. So he's in a good position to say, hey, I'm the one that got this for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's go on to the next. We're going to go to Carlitos. Let me get the graphic here. Oh,
remove that.
My bad. Boom! Right. There it is.
Let's do this. We're going to start out with Georgia. Abrams vows to raise minimum teacher pay to $50K if elected governor. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution by Greg Bluestein. Democrat Stacey Abrams proposed raising the minimum salary for Georgia public school teachers to $50,000 a year if she's elected governor, a part of a 4-year plan that will hike the pay of K-12 educators by $11,000. Now, the thing that was like, wow, really is that low? said adjusted for inflation, our educators are making less now than they did in 1999. Outside the group, it said it's not just about salaries, it's about educators being treated as the professionals they are. I can't believe they're not even like the minimum is not even 50 yet. It's like 39. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Remember when Bernie wanted to make it, I believe 65 when he was running. He wanted the minimum wage for teachers to be 65, I think. Do you guys remember? Anybody else in the chat?
Man, I got horrible memory. I don't remember.
Okay, but it was definitely over 60. I'll put it that way. So what I thought was interesting about this, though, was that when the current governor, what's his name, Kemp, Carlito?
Yeah,
Kemp. When he ran on raising by just 5,000. So it turns out that for a year, right?
Over 4 years.
Over 4 years, and then but Stacey Abrams, this program is going to be 11,000 raise.
Yeah,
it's going to be $11,000 raise, and Stacey Abrams hit him saying that it was a gimmick what he was trying to do, and then here she is doing the same thing. So it's just funny how politicians play politics.
I mean, you're saying it was a gimmick because Republicans is not really going to. It's not about raising people's pay.
That's true, though.
But he did do it eventually. Like recently, he made the the cut for the 4,000 before the his term is up. But that's only because like this past year, he's been trying to make sure he doesn't lose to Purdue, which is not sponsored, but like Trump. What's the word? Endorsed,
like acolyte or something.
Endorsed by Trump.
Yeah.
So in order to not lose, he started doing a lot of things for the base and in general, giving like tax credits for everybody, for the base, constitutional carry, which means like you don't even need a license to have concealed carry anymore. CRT related things in the schools, just the red meat. But then for the rest of the people, like let me give the teachers a little something. He raised salaries or give the state employees like a raise, a small raise plus a bonus. So he was trying to make sure he gave stuff out before the election, like Biden should do.
Yeah. I know that's exactly right. That's the good strategy to do. But here, one thing that I got to give her credit for, she made it more money, and then she rolled it out with support from a teachers union. So that's definitely going to be a good look. So what you think as somebody who's in that state, how's it looking right now?
Oh, it's looking good for her. I mean, last time, they basically stole it from her. There was a lot of voting shenanigans. The same guy that wouldn't give it to Trump, he made sure he stole it from Abrams last time around, Raffensperger. Actually, no, it was Kemp. Kemp was the Secretary of State, and in charge of the elections and running at the same time. So he was doing all kinds
conflict of interest right there.
Right. But I think she got a good chance. I mean, she's raising a ton of money. She's putting her name out there. Ads are flowing, but Kemp has a lot of money too.
Yep. So, all right, we'll see how that goes. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right. We could go to the next article. You bringing it up, Carlito? Oh.
All right, next.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there you go. What Chris was saying, Kemp eliminated 800,000 voters from the voting rolls. Yeah.
Wow. So that's a ton of votes. How much do you remember by any chance how much she lost by, Carlito?
I do not remember, but it was close. And it was crazy because there was a lot of litigation and some of those votes got not the votes, but the people that got taken off the rolls, they got established or whatever, but it was too late. It was after the election.
So that's why she started an organization to do voter registration. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right. So she's making sure that doesn't happen again, hopefully. So maybe this is going to backfire on Kemp, where those same 800,000 people re-registered and now they are legitimate, right?
Right. There goes. Alia said reported. Greg Palace reported on that as he is from Georgia too. Yeah, he had a good series. I don't remember where I saw it, but he was in it. He was interviewing people in person. He was going to other agencies. Yeah. He was digging into it, and they just couldn't hide it. Unfortunately, it didn't blow up nationwide to show what kind of corrupt crap was going on over here. I mean, that's one reason why I think she has a chance, because pretty much won the last time. So I think this time around, she's gonna do well. And they're getting out the vote game is strong already. They're doing it even for the primaries that they had recently here in Georgia, and for the generals later.
All right. So
won by 54,000 votes.
Oh, 54,000. So 800. Wow, that's a huge. Yeah, she could have been. All right.
Next story. New York City Mayor Eric Adams' approval rating falls to 29%, with a majority of residents saying the city is headed in the wrong direction. By Jake LaHote at Insider. New York City, Mayor Eric Adams took a hit his approval rating in the last Siena College poll. The 29% of NYC residents gave Adams positive marks, compared to 63% in the same poll 6 months earlier. The Adams camp took issue with how Siena counts anyone responding as fair on their overall disapproval. I mean, whatever. But there's one thing is that it's not all negative for him, because it's crazy. The poll said that 29% rate his job performance positively, only 29%, but 53% say they like his style.
Oh my God! Yeah,
it's like style over substance now. What's up with this?
Terrible. I thought it was very interesting. I'm about to play a video because Fox News is starting to turn on him. This whole time, media in general was on his side and mostly hate on,
because he's a cop.
Because he's a cop, of course. But he was supposed to be the conservative alternative, so they want to give him cover instead of having like a more liberal, progressive kind of mayor.
That's only just to get him elected and make sure a more progressive person doesn't go in.
As we see the poll starting to turn, I'm going to show this clip, and you're going to see that conservative media is starting to turn as well.
As hitting the party scene, New York City Mayor Eric Adams seen partying twice in one day. As critics say he's done nothing for the city in 6 months, crime surging in New York. Mike, what do you make of this? It's not just over the weekend, but he was in LA partying with Dave Chappelle. He went to the Met Gala wearing that jacket. He was hanging out with like Real Housewives of New Jersey stars. I know that was one of the little shindigs he went to.
Yeah, look, Bill de Blasio was a communist and a total and complete idiot. And there was so much hope when Eric Adams came in that a lot of these problems that didn't exist pre-de Blasio would get fixed. And all you can see now is here's a guy obsessed with his self-image, enjoying the perks of the jobs and doing absolutely nothing to help the average everyday New Yorker.
Christian, how do you see it?
You know, this is actually the most impressive thing I've seen about Adams in his entire tenure as mayor. Imagine the stamina. This guy is 14 years older than I am. I don't think I could be out all night. You know, someone joked in the New York Post that he works from 9 to 5. That's 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. Out late, and does it again the very next night. But jokes aside, Adams will be judged on one thing and one thing alone, and that is crime. His ability to control that, get that back to where it was under Giuliani and Bloomberg. And as Mike says, he's failed at that so far. It's probably better if he keeps the partying under a wrap until he makes some progress.
I said on Friday on the 5 that the only thing that will ultimately change things is when these large corporations, Goldman Sachs, one of its employees was murdered, Deloitte, one of its employees was murdered, until they stand up and not only when they actually walk with their money. Not just talk, but leave the city and say, we're not operating here anymore. We're moving to another state. Maybe, just maybe, that will happen. We're going to.
All right.
Then move it to another state. Yeah, right.
Yeah. They Wall Street is a unique spot. It's going to take a lot for people to, or NYC is a unique spot. It's going to take a lot. Even when, remember, Amazon threatened to move, they ended up having offices in New York City anyway.
Yeah, the one thing that Eric Adams still has going for himself is that they still like him better than de Blasio.
Yeah, de Blasio, his reputation, ever since he passed universal pre-K. That was the only mainly progressive thing that he did and ever did again. Like he just was like, oh, I did what I wanted, which I give him a lot of credit. I give him a ton of credit for doing it because he actually had to fight Cuomo to get that money. I remember when that fight happened, but ever since he got it done, he wrote it to his second term, and then he never did anything ever again.
Yo, why Izzy not here? He's catching strays. John said that's Izzy's king.
Yo. Uh-oh. All right.
All right, next story.
I was gonna say that I think Holly's still out there. How does I think she's based out of New York, right? How does she feel about?
Yeah, that'd be good. Holly, can we we're gonna bring you in on this topic, all right?
Okay.
All right. What you think about this situation with Eric Adams?
Well, I mean, it was Fox News saying that. All he wants to do is party all the time.
Yeah.
We know that. I mean, some of his policies have been horrible. They haven't really made the situation in the city any better. But if there had been a Mayor Curtis Sliwa, it probably would not have been any better either. I didn't vote for Adams. I didn't vote for Sliwa. So, disclosure.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Right, cool. Thank you for giving us your feedback. And this is just a reminder to anybody in the chat. If you want to jump in on the show, this is a special show where if you're in the audience, you can. And I'll thank you, Holly, for coming on.
Antonio says, "I agree. He dresses better than De Blasio."
Yeah. So Bendone, just put the link in the chat if you want to join. Jump in, and you can join the conversation. All right.
John says, "I wonder how his Bitcoin salary is going. Did he do that for real?"
Yeah, he did do that, and
apparently I heard he wasn't all of it, right? Or he wasn't. It was all of it.
I heard he ended up in a negative.
He's ending up in negative. Bitcoin dropped today.
Yeah.
Oof.
And we want to talk about Bitcoin. Actually, I think the next.
Next is Force.
Oh, what's next?
So the next article is Force wants to force you to not speed by Stephen Times at American Liberty.
That's a no-cow zone, but let's bring it up right now.
Yeah, well, you know.
All right, look, so let me set it up, Carlito. Let me set it up real quick. Let me set it up real quick.
Like this story.
In the middle of Carlito's rundown, we're gonna do a no-cow zone where the question is, are you for or against cars having a geofence? A geofence is mainly that when your car goes into this geofence, it is designated that it can't go over a certain miles per hour. So let's say you're in a residential area, you can only go, I think it's 25 miles per hour. As soon as you go over the vicinity, you're alerted. And I don't know if you get a ticket right away or what, but you're alerted. And the people know where you are also. The government knows how fast you're going, and they know your car. So they know who's in it, where you are.
All right. So that's where I was like, I don't know, because this website is completely right-wing bananas, all right? So they took the story. Now, it is true. Ford is doing a 12-month test with some fleet vehicles of a geofencing technology. So, fleet deliveries or whatever, where in certain areas, the cars cannot go past a certain speed. They have studies that are talking about speed and cyclists and accidents and all that jazz, which, they're completely accurate. But the problem is that people, in the future, it's possible they could go into passenger vehicles and commercial vehicles. Now, they do, like, whoever's running it, I don't know if it's the government or what. Right now it's not the government, because it's a trial or whatever. But they would obviously have to track you somehow. I'm not 100% sure that, like looking at the site, like on the American Liberty News, this is what they say. That means the government can track where you are while also extracting data from your vehicle. Just think of the possibilities as you're forced to do what's right. For starters, you'll never have to show your papers to authorities again, since they can just access such things from your car while it's being moved in a very controlled manner. to have a government that cares so much about your safety to control exactly how you get around to the most minute detail is truly a blessing. Of course, them being sarcastic, but the way they, they're gonna take it, they just put a little extra sauce. It's a little. They're doing too much, because you could do this without being necessarily tracked. The technology could just be in the car. Like you have the technology right now. For the GPS. If you have the GPS in the car, you have the geofencing, and you could just have tied it into your vehicle to avoid the speeding. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big giant government conspiracy for it to happen. But now the persona is like, do you even want that in the first place?
So Bendo, let me go with you first before I say.
I'm okay with it.
You okay with it? Okay, they gonna know where you are as long as you are in your car.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not for it. I'll give my piece. I'm not for them being able to know where you are. I'm not for the car always alerting where, like, what miles per hour you're going for. What I would like to see, because I think we're going in this direction anyway, where we're going to have automated cars where you would go sit in your car, put in the location, and then you just sit back, fall asleep, and then it'll take you there. So with that coming, I think we don't have to worry about the speed anyway. But let's say
we don't want the cars to be speeding either. The automated cars.
No, that's my point. It's going to be illegal. Like, the automated car would know automatically not to go over a certain miles per hour because of where you are. Because it does that with waves, right? Or any GPS. It tells you, oh, you can only go over 45 miles per hour. And then when you do go over, the GPS, they can tell when you're going faster, and it's like it puts it in red. But it doesn't alert the government, though.
I mean, you already have. First of all, a lot of people that are worried about tracking, you're already being tracked, man. You got a phone in your pocket.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the first of all. Second of all,
illegally
with the GPS, okay, well, it's a private company tracking you. This is what's being done. You have to. The cell phone companies track you all the time. Just because they have to. They always know where you are. Even if they're not using GPS, they're using a cell phone towers to triangulate your location and all that, so they know where you are, and they're sharing that information.
And is it illegal because you chose to buy into those? Like, if you really didn't want to be tracked, you would choose not to get it?
You mean when they have those contracts that you just have to check, I agree?
Yeah. So, like, again, to me, it's like, again, it's people like, oh, don't put, like, smart devices in your house because they're going to listen to you.
So John says, I am for it as long as they get rid of the cops ticketing people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not only that, again, so if I leave the house, because I don't leave the house, is I drive the speed limit. I go in, go to the speed limit, get to my point. I look at other people driving nowadays, and I'm like, yo, where's the rush? Like, why are you driving like 85 miles an hour? You're zigging, zagging in front of me just to only get stopped 2 blocks down. So to me, if I can avoid all these knuckleheads that, like, probably haven't driven in 2 years and they want to go Need for Speed, I
would say
for it.
I mean, I think this is even right now on the way to automated vehicle. This is safer than them because you're still in control. You just can't speed.
Or you shouldn't speed.
You shouldn't, right? But the thing is that if this proves successful, it's gonna happen, and you're gonna get people buying it. You're gonna get.
I mean, like right now, insurance companies are doing this with the little thing with the
right. So there's the insurance companies. They'll incentivize you to, like, not speed and drive well, and it's by tracking your speed all the time. But
explain
also
that to me, because I'm not familiar with that. What are insurance companies doing?
Allstate. I think Allstate is one of the companies where you can sign up for them, and
you get a cheaper insurance.
You get a cheaper rate as long as you don't text and drive. You're under the limit, and they give you like this little well, I don't know if they still do, but they give you like a little adapter you put on your car's little reader, and it sends signals to your phone that sends it back to them, and they'll notice all that shit.
You plug it into like the ODB2 port.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
That's interesting also.
So
that's been around for the past like 5-6 years.
Let me see what Antonio said. If you you lose your privilege to drive because you speed all the time or decided to drive drunk, maybe yes. Yeah.
All right, but the thing is though, just to imagine, you have a 16-year-old just got a license. Parents are going to jump all over that. It's like, hey, make sure you're not speeding.
Yeah.
When you're going from here to school or whatever to your job,
yeah.
They're going to sell it as a peace of mind type deal to parents to, enable it selectively whenever your kids are driving the car type deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's going to be customers for that.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic because PJ Chris brought up something about Chuck Schumer, but I think we got
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah brought something up too. Okay,
100 miles.
We got 2 more articles that we want to get to, and then I want to see if we can get to PJ Chris's topic.
All right, so let's try to speed this up. So Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey launched a Bitcoin Academy in a public housing complex by Amanda Silberling at TechCrunch. Is billionaire-funded crypto education really what low-income people need? So Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey, they have a relationship because Jay-Z is so titled to Jack Dorsey, so business partners already. But now they started an academy, a Bitcoin academy at the Marcy houses, the projects that Jay-Z is from, to teach people about financial education with an emphasis on Bitcoin. Jay-Z says it's a path to financial freedom. I think they're just teaching people about getting scammed. I don't get it. What's that thing?
No, I mean, this isn't Forex, right? They're not going in and trying to I'm going to teach you how to be a platinum, silver, square person. Nowadays, with everything that's going on in the crypto world between the currencies, the NFTs, the wallets, we lack a structure of where to find reliable source of data. So if they're doing this correct and actually giving people a decent baseline of what cryptocurrency is, how it can help you in the future or set you up financially, I think this is great.
Well, I think if they were doing it correctly, they would not like it, because if they did it correctly, they'll tell people to stay away.
No, but you need more people on the blockchain to make it all feasible.
Exactly, but that's what they want. They want more people on the blockchain so they can use them pretty much.
So I think,
like the people that they're going for right here are the people that are, in the one hand are people that, least likely to have a regular bank. So, it's appealing to them to see as an alternative. And as JC says, is the simple goal is to provide people tools to build independence for themselves and then the community around them. So they could see this as a way to, build wealth in a non-traditional way. But that's not really happening with Bitcoin or any crypto. Like we're talking here, and it's all about flipping it to the next idiot right now.
No, that's NFTs. That's different than crypto.
I didn't talk on this topic yet, so let me jump in here. And so this reminds me of back in the day, the predominant way for people to retire was using pensions. And then they switched over to promoting 401ks because they wanted the employees to invest in the company. And also
we're losing you, Case. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
They wanted you to get into the stock market by introducing 401ks. So now it's very rare that you can find a company that will offer a pension. So now I see people like in this case, Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey's trying to get the hood people in the hood. They're trying to get more people into buying Bitcoins to try to prop it up because it's been declining and it's so volatile. They wanted to get as many people involved in it so that they can make sure it's a viable or legitimate currency. And I've lost confidence in Bitcoins. I knew about Bitcoins and I regret not investing in it back in like 2009. But I think at this point, I don't know if it's still a viable place that you want to invest your money.
And again, there's a lot right now that's happening in that space that people always associate it to the money, right? There's the whole decentralized network. There's NFTs. There's all these flat currencies, the different networks. So
there's nothing about that that's really gonna benefit people right now. or anytime soon, if ever. There's technological advantages to the blockchain for like the contracts or whatever, but that's it. As far as a money building, yes, people can make money from it, but it's usually from getting in early and getting out later, finding somebody else to sell it to before it flops.
But again, when you say that, I think you're still thinking on the NFT
No,
side
I'm thinking of
of the house.
also Bitcoin and Ethereum, all of them, because it's the same thing. Because there's no what can you do with them? It's not like cash. It's not like stock market. You don't own anything.
But nowadays, you could buy a lot with Bitcoins or cryptocurrency.
Not really. There's like a few places you could buy a little something maybe that let you. I heard before like Tesla
Have you?
with Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not something you can go out. I cannot go out and pay my mortgage with it. I cannot buy my groceries with it.
Not yet.
That's what I'm saying.
At least in the U.S. also.
PJ Chris said, I can tell you that insurance companies told companies to do retirement savings accounts that employees paid into and allow companies to borrow from and get loans funded by employees. See? Yep. Another scam. But go ahead, Carlito. You want to finish your point? Sorry about that.
Yeah. Bitcoin is too volatile for the people that could afford the least to lose their money.
Well, to me, that comes from the educational piece, where I think a lot of people, to your point, in what we've seen on the NFT space, is the I forget the pump and dump, right?
No. I mean, even for people, if you know about it, it's speculation. It's not an investment into like, Apple shares, Amazon, companies that are established that they have a product that you could see how they could grow.
But you're again, I think you're at least for me, you're adding
in Bitcoin. There's not a company. You're like
there is the Fed a company? Is that what you're like when you look at the dollar? Is that what we're talking about also?
No, I'm saying you're talking about investment. But if you're talking about just straight cash, you can just put your cash in a CD, treasury, whatever, and get interest from it, where it's safer. With a crypto, it could just go up, down the hole, whatever. It's more speculative. There's no guarantee anything's going to happen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For somebody that is like rich, millionaire, like Jay-Z, they could put a portion of their portfolio in it, and if they lose money, they could make money somewhere else. For somebody from the projects, they put $200 in Bitcoin and they lose it. That's going to hurt a lot more.
But the goal is to teach them not to put in $200 out of nowhere. It's how do you get in and how do you get out the right way.
But there is no right and wrong way.
So you're the way I take this. Don't teach people about stocks. Also, then
no. I'm saying it's like
it's the same thing.
No, I'm saying you could teach them.
The S&P went down 500 points today.
I'm saying if you could teach them the right way, they'll learn not to do it. But they're not going to do that. It's like
you assume they're not going to do that. You hit it with this.
We got 7 minutes, so we got to move it. We got to keep it moving.
It's like when you have
last point.
Imagine you have Goldman Sachs teaching you about finance. They're going to tell you go invest in our stuff. If you have insurance company teaching you about retirements or whatever, they're going to tell you buy whole life insurance, even if that's not the right thing for you. They're going to push whatever they're going to make money from. And JC and Jack Dorsey, they need people in it for their own selves
to prop it up. All right, let's keep it moving. We got 7 minutes or 6 minutes now, allegedly.
All right, so we'll make this one quick. This one is from Bloomberg. It said the Oracle billionaire is making this Hawaiian island more hospitable to the super rich and pushing out families that have been there for generations. Story by Sophie Alexander, photographs by Elizabeth Weinberg, and graphic by Jeremy C.F. Lin. I mean, pretty much, Larry Ellison from Oracle, he bought an island. Used to be the island's always, not always, been privately owned for a long time. Mormon missionaries, and then the dope plantation over there for pineapples. Larry Ellison owns it now. He's making it so people that live there cannot afford to live there anymore. Right now, there's only one home for sale, and it's going for $7.9 million. The median income is $59K. When he talks about sustainability, the people that are interested in sustainability, they live off the land, culture, whatever. he put in a Tesla supercharger. Hopefully, I've got the Tesla over there. You know, he's making the whole island into like the rubber barons factories that people live and work for the company. Said many residents both rent from him and work for him. And a provision in his residential lease states that if you're terminated from a job with any of his companies, you can be kicked out of your home too. Then under Ellison, so people that have trying to, you know, have the small businesses, he's buying everything. He's buying up everything. You know, he's changing it from the usual. There used to be 5-year terms on leases for small businesses. It's 30-day leases. Who can plan for a business for the future with 30 days? You know what I mean?
Wasn't this like his dream to create like a new future utopia out there?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when he's making this utopia, it's for the rich people. He got 4 Seasons over there. You know, most of the people there is like the rich white people. Nobody could afford to get $800 massages over there. That's what they're doing. Listen to this. When you love, you know, he said he loved Hawaii and the culture, whatever. But when you love a culture, you immerse yourself in it, you enjoy it, whatever. This guy said, but here the story says, one of the first things Ellison did was build a Nobu, the definition of an ultra high-end restaurant chain, because he said the cuisine he first found on Lanai was inedible. Okay, so the local cuisine, he's like, ew, yuck. Let me bring a high-end restaurant from, you know, Cali or whatever it is, Nobu's at, and put it over here. I think he got 2 Nobus now, bunch of 4 Seasons hotels. He basically does whatever he wants. You know, the people there, you know, they got little power because he owns all the property. Supposedly Tom Cruise was over there and crashed a car, and you know, they kept it hush hush, not get arrested or anything because, you know, it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I just want to play this video real quick, and then we're gonna go to those 2 quick those comments. But I think this is relevant to what we're talking about right now.
From a doomsday prepping seemed a little bit weird, especially before COVID-19. And then it hit and people are like, wait, maybe I should get canned food. Maybe I should think about this. Either way, whether you fantasize it or you're actually serious about it, or maybe you don't know anything about it, we've got you covered. 8 o'clock tonight on Fox Business. 2 words. You have survival condos. What are these? They're decommissioned missile silos from back during the Cold War in the middle of Kansas, undisclosed location. You got to buy in to find out the address. 50-ton blast doors is what you have going on there. 9-foot thick concrete walls. At the time they were built, they were the strongest buildings built by human hands. 75 people can be housed in here for up to 5 years. Larry Hall, the developer, was telling me all about that. This is so fascinating. The tech.
Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show.
No, I've seen that there during the pandemic. I think there was a family that I was following on TikTok that bought one of those silos and was converting it into livable space room by room.
Yep. All right, so I want to go to those quick comments. Before we do that, I just want to give another shout out to the Love Always is in the building. Antonio Guerra, Aaliyah's in the building. Cheryl Patrick came in the building. And then, so I'm going to go to this first thing that PJ Chris said. Let's talk about Schumer putting off bringing a bill forward to do something about Apple being a monopoly and 2 of his daughters working in the in one of, I guess, working at Apple and at Meta, and how they are charging.
Yeah, the Tech News tonight had they put it on YouTube yesterday or today. They were talking about tech companies and how I think they said something like 17 senators have kids that work or used to work for these companies, and Schumer's daughter is actually a registered lobbyist for one of those companies.
Wow, so that's exactly what we need to regulate out the revolving door. But actually, this is not the revolving door. This is like the revolving door's kids or something. Taking advantage. Biden, famously, a lot of his family has been taking advantage of his status when he was vice president. Of course, we know about Hunter Biden, and then now that he's president, I'm sure they're making a lot of money. And that was something that Bernie, I wish he would have brought up too. All right, and then the second comment here from Aaliyah. Did y'all cover the Supreme Court ruling for this 100 miles from any border bill before I arrived? So I did hear about it. You guys heard about this?
It was a change to basically the 4th Amendment. I think they can. I saw something quickly on TikTok.
I saw a meme. Yeah, I saw a meme.
I don't know about the ruling, but I remember from a while ago, there were people Border Patrol arresting people like in North Dakota, and it's like, what, like how? You know what I'm saying? So I guess it went through the Supreme Court, but I don't know what the outcome was.
It was a 6-3 ruling.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against a bread and breakfast owner accusing Border Patrol of violating the Fourth Amendment. Yeah.
So they're saying they didn't violate Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, they didn't. So they're in the right. So now it opens up the door.
On residential land. Look at that. On residential land. Wow.
It encompassed it like included so many cities. It showed all the cities like New York City, New Jersey, like all of New Jersey's.
Oh,
yeah. But all right. So much love to everybody. Let me know if you like this format. We got PJ Holly. Holly, I'm gonna let you jump back in here just to say bye. All right.
Hi.
All right. Thanks for coming by, PJ Holly. Thank you, Day, for coming by. And people in the chat, I know sometimes people are shy. I know there's a call-in app that it could have 200 people in the audience, but only a few people would want to talk. So that's cool if you don't want to talk. But let me know if you like this and how we brought in people from the audience. We might try this out again in the future. All right. So let's go to. We're going to end out the show. I'm just going to show the Patreon real quick. Pedro Hernandez, Nancy Bancher, PJ Chris, and Akabash Akita, I believe his name. You want to say something, Carlito?
I was going to say too, shout out to the people that jumped in but then backed out. Got cold feet.
Oh yeah.
Got too late for them.
There we go. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let me go around the horn one last time, Carlito, as we head out of here.
I'm going for the Warriors tonight, baby.
Going for the Warriors. I know my wife, she wants the Warriors too. Bendone.
Let's go basketball.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I don't know if Mia was in the chat, but Cheryl Patrick, Aaliyah, Antonio Guerra, PJ Chris was in the building. Ali Horn was in the building. The Love Always in the building. All right.
Man, John P took a break from getting
arrested
by TSA to come join us.
Come join us. Thank you so much. And we even got a bot. A bot came in here too, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, everybody. Much love to y'all. See y'all next week. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. Thank you. We appreciate that. Have a great one. Adios.